One of the biggest reasons why people want to improve their communication skills is because they know that their career growth is directly correlated to their communication ability. As I leveled up my ability to communicate, I was able to form really strong connections and build a really big network. And I'm sure you've heard this before. Your net worth is directly correlated to your network. My ability to connect with others, my ability to build rapport, all of this has been a vital part of my success. In this video, I'm going to give you general thoughts first on how to 100x your career through building your network. And then I've got specific strategies that I will share with you too. By the way, if you're new to my channel, my name's Vinh Giang, and I've been teaching communication skills now for the past decade. I've been able to train companies like Microsoft, Zoom. I've worked with Fortune 500 companies. So if that's something that you value, please consider subscribing so that you won't miss out on future videos. The first universal law is go into these networking functions with curiosity. Often people don't go into these with a mindset of curiosity. They tend to have the mindset of, I want to go to find a client. I want to go to find someone to add value to me, buy my product, buy my service. Look, and I understand this is important, but this is one of the main reasons why people hate networking functions, is because most people are going to networking functions with that same mindset. Who's going to become my customer? Who's going to become my client? Who's going to buy my product? Who's going to buy my service? And imagine a room filled with hundreds of people who are just there trying to find the next client. That's why when you go to networking functions, it just often feels slimy and it doesn't feel good. But when you can go to a networking function and have a mindset of curiosity and be curious about why people are there, curious about other people's businesses, it actually takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders and allows you to enjoy the event. And because you're not going there with that intention of trying to find the client, trying to make a sale, you don't reek of desperation. And as a result of that, you have this beautiful ease to you, which makes you more attractive. It makes you more attractive. People going, oh, this is nice being around this person. I don't feel like they're trying to sell me something. And there's a benefit to being curious because now you're more interested in others and it's refreshing. It's refreshing. So that's the first thing that I would say. Now, the second thing that I would say is to take away that pressure again, go with some prepared questions. So have a list of questions that you've memorized, conversation starters. I think that one of the things that makes networking functions the most difficult is how do I start a conversation with a group of strangers? You know, when you're going to a networking function and you're holding your drink because you need something to hold to make you feel more comfortable. I do feel that too. And then you're there and you're holding a drink and then you're standing there and you're like, oh man, this feels so weird. Damn it, everyone's in groups and I'm just standing here by myself. One of the main reasons we now are afraid to walk up to a group and start talking is because we don't know what to say. So plan a few conversation starters. Now I just build up the courage and just use it. So for example, I'll hold my drink, I'll walk up to a group of strangers and I'll be like, hey, do you mind if I join the conversation? I'm here on my own and do you mind, is that okay? Can I just join the conversation with you all? Is that all right? 9 times out of 10, people are beautiful. They go, oh, of course, oh my goodness, come join us. What's your name? Boom, and we're off to the races. And look, I'll be quite frank with you. There have been times where I've done that and people go, oh, sorry, we're having a private conversation. All good. I'll immediately go, hey, no worries at all. No, I don't. Well, I kind of do that sometimes. But then I walk away and then I try again. And I guarantee you, the second time I do it, boom, I'm straight into a conversation and we're having a good time. So again, that's just one conversation starter, right? Or you can have another conversation starter. Just walk up and just be like, hey, my name's Vin. What brings you all here to the networking function? Just by having 2 to 3 conversation openers and starters, having them just in my head, that was enough for me to just go and try. And just remember the quote by Mark Twain. You worry less about what people think of you when you realize how seldom they do. That group that when I walked up and I said, hey, can I join your conversation? They said, no, this is a private conversation. Do you think they even still remember me? I can promise you that they don't even remember that interaction, that they don't even think about me anymore in their life. So please, don't let your mind trick you into thinking that you are more important than you are to others. Now, the third thing that I'll say is, what also takes the pressure off networking and also allows you to create more meaningful connections, the way to get to that is be more interested in the other person than you are in yourself. This is a quote from Dale Carnegie, and Dale Carnegie says the following. I want to read it precisely as he says it. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. People love talking about themselves. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, I don't know what to say, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, ask them questions about them. Ask them questions about themselves. And there's a wonderful framework, if you don't know what type of questions to ask, there's a wonderful framework called FORD, F-O-R-D, which is an acronym for you can talk to them about their family, you can talk to them about their occupation, even though I don't really like to talk about that, but that is an option if you'd like. Then you could talk to them about the R is for recreation, which is the things that they enjoy in their free time. And the D is their dreams. What are their dreams in this life? People love those topics, right? They love those topics. Use that as a bit of a framework as you move into being interested about them. Those are the universal thoughts that I would share. But then I want to give you some of my tactical boots on the ground type strategies. By the way, if you're enjoying the content, thank you. If you didn't know, I'm actually running a 2-hour free masterclass on communication skills where you can join me and learn live. So you can trial learning with me. If you want to come along to this session, click the pinned comment in the comment section to be able to save your seat. Hope to see you in class. Number 1, the first thing I'll mention to you is I always do my research before I go to a networking function. If I don't do the research and find out the attendees list and work out who's going to be at a networking function, then I'm not going because I'm not interested. And I don't mean to say this to sound like an absolute prick, but I'm very time poor. I manage a big team now and I create lots of content and I've got 2 kids and a wife and I love my mum and my dad. I love to spend time with them and I've got lots of friends and family. Well, not lots. I've got about 5 good friends that I spend time with. I don't have that many friends. I'm not that cool. But I love spending time with the people I love, right? So I've got very little time. There's no reason for me to go to a particular networking function because there's no one I want to connect with. I'm not going. So again, step 1 is do your due diligence. Who's going to be there? And I would always look through the attendee list and I would do a bit of research. Who do I actually want to connect with? So then when I go to the networking function, I am very specific with the person that I'm going to approach. And now, if you know who you want to approach, if you know exactly who you are going to want to connect with, do research on that person. Connect with them on LinkedIn 2 weeks before you even go to the networking function. Send them a LinkedIn request. Hey, James, I know you're also going to this networking function. I'm also heading there too. Mate, would love to connect with you when you're there. Let me know if you want to catch up. So I'm doing my due diligence there. Now that I found him or her on LinkedIn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my research in that I'm going to look at the posts they've put on LinkedIn. I'm going to see what they're interested in. I'm going to look at the history of where they've worked. All of this is publicly available information on LinkedIn. I'm doing my background research so that I can use one of the universal laws so that when I do meet James, I can truly be interested in James. And hey, James, I realize you used to work at Adobe. Man, that was so cool. Can you tell me, what are some of the most powerful lessons you've learned when you were at Adobe? You know, and all of a sudden now, I'm not just meeting someone random. And when you meet someone random, A, you know nothing about them. So that B, you can't talk to them about anything because you know nothing about them. Whereas now I know so much about James. Now there are so many questions I can ask him about his journey. I know as you're listening to this, some of you are like, oh, Vin, that's creepy, that's weird, that's gross. It's only gross because you've never done it before and you've never actually tried it. You're judging something before you've tried it. I can tell you right now, every time I've done my due diligence and I meet people like this, they are just grateful because now we can have deeper conversations as opposed to the classic.
So what do you do? Cool. How long you been there? I've been there 3 years. Cool. What are you drinking? Okay, yeah, this is what I'm drinking. Have you tried the food? Have you tried the food? Oh, cool. Yeah, I tried the food too. Man, weather's hot today.
Again, all of a sudden, you know this person now. They'll be flattered that you've actually done the research on them. They'll feel like a superstar. It makes them feel special. It makes them feel valuable. And again, there's a creepy way of doing it, and then there's a beautiful, natural way of doing it. The creepy way of doing it is if you just met them and you listed all their credentials, where they've worked for the past 16 years, and you listed it because you memorized it all. No, that's weird. Use a bit of situational awareness here, okay? So if you spoke to them and said, hey, I realized you worked at Adobe. That was amazing. Oh, that's so cool. I saw that on your LinkedIn, and I thought, I had to connect with you because you know what? One of my secret dreams is I actually one day would love to work in Adobe. Do you see the power of the clarity here? Because imagine you met this person, James. He used to work at Adobe, and all of a sudden you just mentioned a dream of yours. As you build this relationship, you may not even realize it, but by the end of that conversation, if you build a strong enough connection, James will say something like, you know what, Vin? I'm still in touch with the HR team in Adobe. I'm gonna make a connection for you. What's your email? That's how these things happen. That's how these things happen. It's how they happen. They don't happen by chance. They happen because someone was intentional about it. And sure, sometimes it happens by chance. But look, don't leave the dreams that you want in this life to chance. Make them happen. Now, once you've done your research, then the second thing is, during the networking function, I'm going to approach them. And this is the scary part. This is the bit where you have to overcome your fears. You have to practice the courage muscle. You have to take action, even though it feels scary, even though it feels weird, even though they might reject you, do it, approach them. And now when I approach them, my first goal is not to get them to help me. My first goal in that interaction when we meet each other at the networking function, my number one goal is to form a connection with them. That's my number one goal. And even if in that interaction, James doesn't connect me with the HR person from Adobe, I don't care. I don't care. That is not my goal. My goal right now is how can I just create a strong connection, therefore a lasting impression with James, with the person that I'm trying to connect with. The ways in which you can develop a really strong connection is you need to develop the skill of active listening. The better you are at active listening, the faster you are able to pick up on common ground. When you're speaking to James, the moment you find some kind of common ground, the connection levels will just peak. You've had this happen to you before. Have you ever spoken to a stranger and by chance, they say to you, what were you up to last night? What were you doing? I was like, I was just rewatching Scrubs. I love that series. And then the other person goes, oh my God, you watch Scrubs? I love Scrubs. Oh my God, you watch Scrubs too? Oh my God, boom. The level of connection has just hit the next level. Now, if any of you watch Scrubs, you would have felt that too. But can you see what I mean here? It's that those moments, they happen seemingly randomly, but as you build your ability to actively listen within a conversation, you can very quickly discover common ground. Now, if there was a secondary goal, then the secondary goal for that conversation is the following. As I'm actively listening, not only am I trying to find common ground, as I was doing research on them before I met them, I'm also trying to understand the secondary goal of this interaction. How can I help them? How can I help them achieve one of the goals that they're currently aiming for in this chapter of life for them right now? Give first, ask later. I want to share with you how one of my followers became one of my best friends in my life. This is Ali, and he's become one of my brothers in my life. And when I first met Ali, he's done the research on me. He came to one of my first stage classes I ever ran in person in 2016. He was more interested in me than he was trying to sell his services and he didn't try to sell me anything. And he tried to help me in my life. I remember after our 2-day interaction, he at the end said to me, he goes, hey Vin, I understand what your goal is. You want to start a speaking career. I get it. All right, I've got some connections on how I can get you your first few speaking gigs in America because I know you're moving there. So let me line up those connections. Let me see if I can help you on your journey. And I just went, what the hell? Why are you so nice to me? This is thank you. 2 weeks later, he secured me my first keynote speaking gig in Austin, Texas, in America. And I was just so flabbergasted. I remember just sitting there thinking to myself, why would this is the kindest person, why would this person is doing this with no expectation of anything in return? This is amazing. And then all of a sudden, the law of reciprocity started to have its impact. And I just immediately just went, what can I do for you? Oh my goodness, Ali, I can't believe you got me my first speaking gig in America. What can I do? Can I do something for you? And he goes, oh man, thank you so much, bro. Like, what I really would love is I want to improve my communication skills. And I'm looking for some coaching. And I was, oh dude, can I be that coach? Can I be that person? Boom. And then I started coaching him and we've become best friends. But I wanted to give you that example because Ali gave first. He did the research, he understood what my goals were, he did the due diligence, he saw some posts I put out about me trying to build a dream career as a keynote speaker. He saw all of that, and I was so moved by that. I tell you that story because you are one networking function away from potentially finding one of your best friends in your life if you go about it in this way. That's the power of being clear. That's the power of putting connection first. That's the power of giving first before you ask. If you want to learn more about communication skills and go deeper down the rabbit hole, click the video up here. And if you want to join me and learn with me live, click this link here to save your spot.